In this video about evaluation, we're going to be talking about setting aims and objectives, which we do in the workshop. And this is step 3 of the evaluation cycle, which is the plan stage. So what do we do first?
It's important to set out and agree at the start of your evaluation the purpose of what you're doing and the specific questions that you want to answer, just like with any project. And these will be your aims and objectives.
So this is the kind of terminology that people might be unsure about. Can you define what we mean by an aim and an objective?
Yes, so let's start with the aim. This is a statement of what the project seeks to do overall. So here's an example. To evaluate the impact of a new prescribing service in care homes on prescribing levels.
Okay, so that seems clear enough. What do people tend to get wrong here?
Well, the key thing is to make sure that you're setting the aim in relation to the evaluation and not the aim of the service or the project that's being delivered. So for the example I gave before, the aim of the service was to provide a pharmacist to review medication of care home residents, and the evaluation will measure the impact of this. Ideally, you'll have already defined the aims of the service using a logic model or a similar theory of change, for example, and you can find out more about this in the evaluation toolkit.
Right, so the important thing is to set out the aim of the evaluation in simple terms. Can you have more than one aim?
Yes, you don't have to be restricted to just one. You might have 2 or 3 aims, reflecting the interests of different stakeholders. There's no right or wrong. So again, for the care home service evaluation, there was a second aim, and this was to evaluate the impact of the service on hospital admissions.
Good. So what about objectives? How would you define an objective? How is it different?
An objective then is a SMART statement about what you'll do that will help achieve the overall aim.
SMART's an acronym that gets used a lot. How does it apply here?
By SMART, we mean specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So for this example, a SMART objective would be to record all the changes made to prescribed medications for all of the residents at each care home visit during the 1-year pilot. So this is specific because it reflects that we're recording all the changes, the stopping, starting and changing the drugs. It's for each visit and it's for all residents. So from this we can measure the reduction in prescribing. It's achievable, in other words, it's possible to get this information, it's relevant to the aim, and also there's a time frame put on it. It's during the 1-year pilot.
Great. So do people always check they've written SMART objectives in your experience?
No, that's a common pitfall, being vague about what will actually be measured and when. It's also worth adding that the number of objectives that you have will vary. Sometimes just 2 or 3, but perhaps as many as 6 or 7. It really depends on the evaluation.
Okay, that's really helpful. Is it a good idea to check your aims and objectives with someone else and see if they make sense?
Yeah, that's a great tip. They should be easily understood by someone who doesn't know anything about your project.
In the next video, we're going to look at step 4, which is the do stage of the cycle, and about data collection.